Hey everyone, today is Good Friday, and hopefully you had a chance to watch that little video that I posted on from YouTube. If not, I'd recommend you watch that first before watching the rest of this message. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about why today is Good Friday and what Easter is about. And I call this club Hope Club, and this is the ultimate message of hope. This is the ultimate message that gives me hope as a Christian, as someone who believes in Jesus. And so that's what I wanted to kind of share with you guys today through this video. So, as you saw in the other video, the animated video, the story of Jesus and how he was, he did great things. He was the Son of God. He was, but then unfortunately the people turned on him and he was beaten and he was crucified, which means he died by hanging on a cross, a very painful death. And then, but luckily he rose again. He rose later. And why is that significant, right? Obviously, because someone raises from the dead is significant, but why is that especially significant? To understand it fully, you need to understand what these things mean and what they represent. And this is what I believe as a Christian is what it means. Well, first of all, you have to understand that why? Why did Jesus have to die? And it goes back to how we were created and how there is a God. And the reason I know there's a God is because I see it all around. I see in the creation of the world. I see in the creation of people. I see that, there's a lot of things that we make by hand and that men have made, but where do those raw materials come from and where did the earth come from and things like that. I understand that there's a God, and that God is perfect, and because that's what we want. If we're going to have a God, I would want him to be perfect and not make mistakes and not do anything wrong. And if you have a perfect God, that's great. And then there's us, and we are imperfect. I am definitely imperfect. I definitely make mistakes. You see me do stuff in math and do that pretty well, but I make mistakes here or there. But I'm not talking about that kind of mistakes. Just like things that are wrong, that are bad. I've lied. I've stolen. I've disobeyed my parents. I've these sort of things. They might seem small, but think of it this way. God is so great, and that's who we want to be with. But if we have even a little bit of that badness in us, right, it's kind of it'll ruin the whole thing, right? Think of a glass of water, perfectly clear, right? Glass of water. I could drink this, no problem. Now let me ask you this: would I still drink this water? Would you still drink this water if I put a single drop of poison in there? Probably not. Poison's bad, right? What if I added more water? Wouldn't the poison still be in there? That's how our relationship with God is a little bit, right? Like if we have a little bit of a red mark, you think of poison or food coloring or something like that, we would ruin the whole thing. So we have a problem. God is perfect, and we are not, but we want to be with God, right? And when I die, I hope to be with God in heaven as opposed to down the other way. All right. So how do we do what's the plan then? We're kind of in a tough spot because we're not perfect, but God is. And this is where Jesus comes in. If you guys have ever gotten in trouble, you know that you do something bad, you get punished for it, right? Like if your parents give you a timeout or they take away something that you like or whatever it may be, right? Punishment, and that's what it should be for us, right? If we do something bad, which we call sin, which is like that drop of poison, right? We should get punished for it, and the punishment would be not heaven, but the other way around. But luckily, right, what Jesus did is he died. Remember that story? Jesus died on the cross. And what that means is he didn't just die for himself. Remember, Jesus didn't live a life with any sin. He lived perfectly. But what he did is he died for us. He took the punishment. So it's kind of like, let's say you were supposed to get in trouble, and then your brother said, you know what? I'll take the blame. I'm going to take the blame for you, and then you don't have to worry about it. That's what Jesus did. He took the blame for us. He was our substitute, right? Just like when I'm not here in class, I have a substitute, like Mr. Ricky or something like that, right? He was our substitute. He said, you know what? I will die instead. So that means our punishment is taken care of. But the best part of the story is that Jesus rose again. What that means is it shows that he is greater than that death and that sin and those bad things, right? If you can come back from the dead, that means the dead has no power over you. For all of us, we're going to die and that's going to be it. Jesus rose from that dead. He said, I conquer that. I'm bigger than that. And that's what's important there with him coming back and him being risen from the dead. And the cool thing is this: if you believe that in Christianity, if you just believe those things, that you have done wrong, but Jesus has died for your sins and that he has rose again, and you want to accept Jesus into your life, if you believe in those things, then you're good to go. Then it's kind of like getting a whole new glass of water. The old one's thrown out. Jesus already took care of that. You get a new glass. And God sees that it's clean, and he says, you know what? You guys are good. Come on in. When you die, you get to go to heaven. You get to be with him. That's why I have hope. That's the hope that I have. Because that hope makes me believe that better things are ahead. The pandemic has been a bummer, and sometimes I'm tired and a lot of work, and there's other things that are bad, right? We see these, hate crimes against Asians. We see just the climate change and all this sort of stuff that's bad in the world. But I have hope because I know that God sent Jesus for me. So that's why I have hope. That's the message of Christianity. And it's free. You don't have to do anything. All the other religions out there, you have to earn your way. You have to be a good person. Yeah, in the Bible we learn about being a good person, but we don't do it because we try to earn our way. Instead, we do it because we love someone else, right? It's kind of like you love your brother, your sister, your mom, or your dad, and so you do nice things for them. That's what we do. We love our God for doing that for us, so we try to do good things to please him instead. So that's the story of Christianity. That's the story of Easter. Again, I hope you watch that video first and then watch this one having me explain it. And if you want to know more, please let me know. If you think this is a great message and you're like, hey, this sounds really good, Mr. Leong, I want to learn more, or I want to accept that, then let me know. Because that's all it takes, accepting those things to become a Christian. And then the next steps would be getting you involved in maybe a church or learning more about Jesus and the Bible. And that's what I'd love to teach about, because that's where my hope comes from. So thanks for watching. Hope you had enjoyed that explanation. If you have any questions, let me know. But have a happy Easter.